We are a luxury vacation rental business. We only operate on Hilton Head Island. I found Sarah on LinkedIn originally. She had just started her business at the same time that we started ours, and we just jived from the beginning. We had very similar philosophies, and Sarah immediately made an impact. She looks at the portfolio holistically. And with REVZEN, I just can't tell you, like, they set us up for such good future success. It was myself, my director of operations in a termite-infested building, and Sarah remotely. And years later, here we sit. So Sarah's in a very unique space. She is in revenue management as a service, but she's also in fractional leadership from a revenue perspective. So she not only helps manage portfolios as far as like optimizing revenue, occupancy, performance, things like that, but she also will fill in where a company may not have a chief revenue officer or somewhere like that for education, training purposes, things of that nature. And Sarah immediately made an impact. She started taking over all the strategy, all of the revenue, just anything and everything regarding optimization, OTA listings. I mean, you name it, she did all of it for us.
You had a full-time traditional employee, and then you had Sarah as a fractional employee. Were there any differences between the two? Did you notice anything different between the two?
She didn't skip a beat. It was awesome. She did every time that I said, let's gut rate and work on short-term wins, that she would say, no, you're wrong, push back. And then she'd say, for the health of the company, the health of, the future, next year, the next 2 years, 3 years, whatever it may be, she was always looking forward based on what the portfolio needed as a whole, not just what I wanted in the short term. So Sarah and I have a very special relationship, but I imagine that she is the same way with every one of her clients, just because she is that kind of individual. But they were very frank and very necessary, and I very much appreciated that. Whether it was an email in the middle of the day or if it was a phone call at 10 o'clock at night, that's what we did. It was actually pretty incredible to watch the trajectories of both of our companies, because we added units incredibly quickly. We realistically are only 2.5 years in, and we're at 160 plus properties at this point. So she was able to focus more on strategy, and she brought in Eve Anderson, who is a phenomenal revenue manager. I mean, she's one of the most brilliant people I've ever spoken to. Eve is a very, very high level person, but she has the ability to go very granular also in a portfolio. She also has the ability to make us simple people understand what she is, what she's talking about. So we really appreciate that. Trying to chase short-term gains is not a strategy for the long term, especially for our owners. Eve was very, very adamant about training the algorithms the right way and still running it with a human element behind it. She would constantly encourage me that we were still doing better than everybody else, or at least getting our fair share. We were actually underwriting a company that was here locally to purchase together. And I trust Sarah's opinion explicitly, especially when we're looking over P&Ls and, things that are, revenue driven. I mean, we can optimize anything, we can sell anything, but when the raw data comes together, I mean, we really do need extra eyes on it. And, she saved us from making a terrible, terrible mistake. We realized that she wasn't putting just her company first, because, I mean, it would have been a massive increase in revenue management as a service. I mean, to the tune of, hundreds of doors at that point. And it was a massive multi-million-dollar investment for us. And she actually helped talk us out of making the purchase. And we just knew at that point that we were, lockstep. We were there. So she regularly put together trainings that I found myself not having the time to do anymore, or the want to do anymore. Yes, we've got so many other things going on now. But Sarah was continuously reaching out to our guest experience team, which is our sales arm, and also our guest services team in general. She instilled in them that it's not always a monetary, bad things happen. And Disney's famous for saying things like, it's not what happens, it's how you handle it. Guest refunds went down drastically after that. I am famous for saying, let's just fix it. And she is famous for saying, let's fix it, but better. And the team is much more confident after several sessions with her. We do not use REVZEN anymore as revenue management as a service, because we are much larger now than we used to be. However, we still buy hours from Sarah for consulting purposes, to make sure that we are still on the same track that we were on. So our relationship with REVZEN is going to continue in perpetuity forever. And she helps guide our revenue strategy. She helps guide all those things. It's probably a lot less about business and more about her as a human being. But it bleeds over into what she does every day. She does look at things holistically, like, is this good for everyone? Is this good for 3 out of the 4 people? Let's make a pragmatic decision about things. She's extremely talented, a talented person. She is mathematically a genius and musically a genius. She is an amazing musician. She is a kind soul, just a wonderful, wonderful individual, and it bleeds over into everything else that she does. And I just can't say enough good things about her.